folks, Sean Broderick. I'm on the road again looking for more good gold and silver bargains. This one I find right in Boca Raton. No, it is not mining in Boca Raton. They're actually down in Mexico. GoGold Resources is the name of the company. It's one that I have been to see before. I went to see their operations in Parral, Mexico. Now they have a brand new project that they're just about to begin working on. Brad Langille, he's the CEO of the company. He's going to explain to you guys what they're up to down there, what the new project is, what they're doing at the old project, and what the company's plans are. Brad, could you speak to my subscribers?
Oh, great. Sean, good morning, and great to catch up with you here in Boca Raton. Yes, you were down in Parral several years ago, and we continue at Parral. In fact, we have 8 more years of reserves at Parral to go. We've been mining there now for 5 years and processing for 5 years. Mm-hmm. I'll just talk for a moment about Parral first.
Sure.
At Parral, we really developed a technology around old tailings reprocessing that has worked for us. Now, after 5 years, here the last 5 quarters, again and again, the best quarter ever. Mm-hmm. So now we're at a run rate of about 2.1 to 2.4 million a year is what we're going to do in the next 12 months.
Which is about 600,000 ounces per quarter, right?
In about 600,000 ounces per quarter.
Not bad. This comes from tailings. In other words, what's left over at an old mine, they're able to process that stuff and get more silver out of it.
Yeah, and a real good all-in sustaining cost, right around $14 or even a little under. So at the mine site, after we pay everything, we're making about $700,000 US a month. Mm-hmm. And it gives us money to put into exploration. And there we get into the next project. And this is really our wheelhouse, is exploration, development. We've done this for many, many years in Mexico, 24 years. We've taken projects like Ocampo from zero all the way at the very good gold market. We were at 2.1 billion trading in New York and Toronto. And that project, we sold it to Carlos Slim for $750 million. And then later on, the company was sold to Alamos for $1.5 billion. Mm-hmm. The original GAM and Los Ricos or Rico.
Actually, let me just interrupt here. That's one of the things that originally attracted me to your company is you guys have had not only previous success, but previous success over and over again. You guys are company builders.
Yeah, we are. We built 3 mines, and we've majorly refurbished a 4th. That was in Mex Gold. We bought from the private family the El Cubo mine, which operated for 2 years in Mex Gold. Then it was sold for $375 million, the company, and then it became Endeavor Silver. Mm-hmm. They bought that asset for $250 million later on. So we build mines, but I'll tell you, there's so much money in this business made for the shareholders when they get in on the exploration development of assets, especially if you have a team that are real mine builders. So we understand early on what can be a mine, mm-hmm. and that's really what's important. What can be a mine, and then you apply those exploration development dollars there and put the drill machines to it. Now that's what we're doing down in Los Ricos. Los Ricos, for me, I feel this is the best asset I've had in 20 years since Ocampo, where we built 2 large mines. It's a trend that's 35 kilometers long. We have been consolidating that trend. We had 50 legacy drill holes there. One of those drill holes was actually 24 meters of pretty close to true width of over 2 kilos silver. I mean, that's one of the best holes I've ever.
That sounds like would be taking planks off the side of a barn, just pure silver there.
No, it's very, very high grade. And then down, but we're calling the 2 projects now. We kind of announced today that we have our Los Ricos North, Montefavor, and our Los Ricos South. And Los Ricos South, well, we've been drilling away there. We are up to now hole 130 that the drill machines are working on today, and we do have 5 drill machines running. Just tremendous success. And we're drilling around an historic mine that was there, where they mined out 2 to 6 meters. And this wasn't that long ago. This was, in mining terms, it was 1908 to 1929. And a very famous family, the Daly family from the U.S., Marcus Daly, was known as the Copper Baron. He started Anaconda Copper. And it was his son and the son's brother-in-law, Gerard, a U.S. ambassador. And he was, that's how he got down there. He's the U.S. ambassador with diplomatic relations with Mexico. He got down there into this property. They operated a mine for 22 years.
Okay.
We found all this data. This is an interesting story up in Missoula, Montana, in an archive that nobody has had literally for the last 90 years. Boxes and boxes of data. We digitized it. We based our drill program off that. We're hitting some of the best results I've seen in my career. We've drilled up to, one of our drill holes, 24 meters of 21 grams gold equivalent.
Wow.
And
it's like you found a treasure map in those old archives, isn't it?
It is really was a great discovery for us. 8,000 samples, 22 years of monthly reports telling us what the mill recovered for them. Well, it was plus 90% for gold and silver over that period of time. So we're hitting this thing really hard with the drill bit right now. 5 drill rigs running. We're currently at a rate of drilling about 4,000 meters a month.
Okay.
And we're going to be stepping that up to about 7,000 meters a month.
All right.
We're very serious about this, and yeah, go ahead.
I have a few questions.
Okay.
Los Ricos is a historically rich district. I mean, since the days of the conquistadors, that's high grade. So,
yeah.
Is there any historical estimate on the like projects you have there?
So we don't have our first 43101.
Right.
There was a company in there in the early 2000s, and they were looking at it a little bit different than we are, and they had 60 drill holes, which was legacy holes, which we inherited. Mm-hmm. They were looking at a very shallow open pit, and they have a historical resource. I think it's around 400,000 ounces.
Okay, but you know that you can expand on that. With like what
we view it quite differently. So we've been drilling through the same area, and what we're finding is that what was mined out in the past it's much less than they estimated. The other thing, they use an assay technique, which pretty much all of us in the silver business, we don't use now. They use what's called a 2-acid digestion for the silver assay, which can underestimate very high-grade silver. We use a 4-acid digestion for our technique, and that is giving us, we've seen a much higher silver grade than they drilled.
Okay.
So we're in there with those 5 drill rigs. We're drilling this off. We expect to have a resource by April or May.
Excellent.
We make $700,000 a month U.S. at our operation.
Yeah.
And we had some cash on the balance sheet. We started this project off drilling about $14,000 a day of drilling. Mm-hmm. And since last March, on average, we gained about $200,000 a day on market cap. Mm-hmm. So a great return on that investment. We were looking to consolidate more claims, and we have really, I think, what is one of the most prospective claims in Mexico. We made a decision. Yes, we were self-sustaining, but we want to go faster. This is the best thing I've had in 20 years. Okay. And we want to have not 3 drill rigs, not 4 drill rigs. We think we'll have more like 10 drill rigs here in the near future. And therefore, we did a financing. It was very well received, $25 million at 70 cents. It was way oversubscribed. So now we have, that was in Canadian dollars, we have plus 20 million US in the bank. Okay. We're making 700,000 US a month. We do have a receivable from the Mexican government for 11 million US, which we're probably going to get about half of that in the next 9 months. Okay. And on a fully diluted basis, with all of that, we'd be about 47 million US in cash. Okay. So we are a very, very well-financed junior producer, explorer, and we have the asset where we can continue to get that kind of return on the exploration dollars. Okay. So over the course of the next year, people will see more drill results, hopefully high grade, and then in April you'll have your like resource estimate coming out on this new one. Is there anything else that we should be looking for from the new project, say, over the course of the next year? Really, the things you're going to look at should be looking for is from here on out, there should be drill results every 7 to 10 days.
Okay.
And they have been all high grade, and I think that they will continue being that way. Most of them have been high grade. We've expanded the trend to include our Los Ricos North project. You're going to see the first drilling come out of that, and I think it will be, it's going to really showcase that project. We believe, and we've had people on the ground there now for 3 months, quietly working away at it, and we believe.
When will that come out?
The work that they've done, they've been just more prospecting, some sampling, and we'll get some of that out here over the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
But what we released today was some of the historical drill holes on some small claims that were in an area that we really wanted to get those before we started the program up there. And we got that deal done. We have those claims. They came with the 50 historical drill holes. The highlights are in that press release today. We will first go in there. We'll start drilling in that area. We have another, what was a large historical mine up there, operated by another American family in the same time period, first part of the last century. We've been sampling there in adits and getting some high-grade results that we're seeing, and we'll be drilling that as well. So we can look for a drill program starting up there in the next 45 days and pushing that towards resource as well.
Great. Well, when a guy who has built successful mines and companies tells me that that this project is the best thing he's ever seen in like 20 years, I'm glad I'm a shareholder. You folks can make your own decisions. Right. Let's give them the stock symbol and then anything else you'd like to add.
Yes. So just on shareholdings, I am the second largest shareholder of the company. I'm about 8.5% of the company.
Mine's tiny, but okay.
Yeah. In the last year, I've been buying stock. In the last 12 months, I bought about 500,000 shares in the market. Of course, we're not stock sellers.
Right.
We're there for the long term. I feel my interest is very well aligned with the long-term shareholder. We raise money because we can get a great return on capital, and we'll add a lot of value to this company, I feel, over the next 2 years. We're going to have a lot of activity. With the Parral operation, it's very steady state. It generates cash for us, and we'll continue to do that as well.
Right. You can also bring in other tailings from other areas to process there, right?
We really have developed a technique there that is relatively low capex for the amount of material we're moving a day. We move 5,000 to 7,000 tons a day. And that we built that for $45 million US and low OPEX. Mexico has hundreds of millions of tons of tailings. And the new government in Mexico, and we know them well. We know the director of mines for the country has visited Parral. They like Parral. They see it as a very environmentally friendly way to deal
You're
with
actually
old
cleaning up these old tailings.
We are cleaning up old tailings.
You're actually helping the country out when you do that.
Yeah, and there's hundreds of millions of these tons of these old tailings, and in the same situation where they're inside cities that the city grew up around.
No.
So
I've seen that. It's a wild sight. I mean, you will see a cathedral next to a big pile of dirt because that's what they had.
Yeah.
So the symbol is
GGD on the TSX.
Great little company. I own it. Have for a while since I went down there last time. It's had its ups and downs, but it's really coming together. They have perfected the process at Parral. They have more stuff going on there. They have a brand new project, very high grade, news coming out, resource estimate coming out. Check this one out. We will look at it more closely. Thank you very much for speaking to my subscribers. You folks stay tuned. I'll have more for you. This is Sean Broderick. Thanks.